From cheese to oysters to bacon, there is a food trail out there for everyone. But my favorite one may just be the one I found in New Jersey. Welcome to Roaming Yeti's Travel Beyond the Guidebook, where we help our busy fellow adventurers maximize their limited vacation time. I'm your host and head Yeti, Beth Scalacci. I'm here to share stories, hidden gems, and insider tips to help you plan trips that are unique and meaningful to you. In each episode, I delve into the world of pop culture destinations, theme parks, roadside attractions, and nostalgic locations. And you know what? We're uncovering their secrets and backstories. Are you ready? Let's roam! Welcome back. What type of field trip are we going on today? Let's talk food. Food is always a good reason to get out of the house for a day, right? And there's so many options to choose from. Factory tours, a great food hall, a brewery, a winery, distillery, coffee shop, hey, even farms and orchards and creameries. I mean, there's so many options for sure. But what I wanted to talk about today are food and drink trails. So a food trail is typically organized by a state or county tourism board, and it features businesses that you can visit that offer products that showcase that region. And some have passports that you get stamped at the different locations you stop. You can get entered into prizes. Some have mobile apps that you can use, and some are simply a directory of businesses for you to check out. And depending on the trail, you may be able to do all of them in one day, or it may take several days to complete. Look, I think that's a bonus because then you have future field trips already planned for you and you don't have to worry about it. But it's typically fairly easy to find a beer or wine or an ice cream trail in your area. So I did a little digging to find out some other food trails throughout the country that you may enjoy if you're in that area. If you're not in the area, it's give you some inspiration to see what is near you, or, book that weekend trip and go check them out. So I'm going to start in California, and the state of California has a cheese trail, and it's huge. It's the whole state. It has 45 cheesemakers, just cheesemakers. And in addition, there's shops along the way that you can get even more cheese. The website has so much information for customizing your trip. You can narrow down your search to find places that have your favorite cheese. Plus, they even have these cool recommended driving tours that break down the number of stops and the number of miles. So if you're out there, this is like perfect for planning your day trip. Like, they've done the work for you, which is pretty amazing. So I took a look at all the driving tours, and one really jumped out at me, and it's the one on the Central Coast. So I lived in Silicon Valley years ago, and I love this area. We did a lot of weekend day trips. That's sort of where I got my name of Julie McCoy. I was in charge of weekend trips for our transplant group of East Coasters. And honestly, this would have been one of the perfect ways to spend a day. So the tour takes about 70 miles and it hits 3 locations. So you start about an hour south of San Francisco, and you head to a goat farm, Harley Farms Goat Dairy in Pescadero, California. From there, you drive about an hour south to Royal Oaks to visit Garden Variety Cheese, which apparently you need to do this trip on Saturdays because it seems to be the only time they are open. And that's a sheep dairy. So that's a really interesting, you sort of go from goat cheese to sheep cheese. And then finally, you can head to Salinas to Scotch Family Farmstead, and that's where you can get the only Monterey Jack cheese that's actually still being made in Monterey County. So it's an interesting sort of thing to check out. So if you like cheese and you're in California, this is definitely the cheese trail for you. And yes, there's even a cheese trail in LA, so definitely check that out. Now, we're going to head from cheese to potatoes. We're heading to Boise, Idaho for the potato trail. Now, this trail actually does have a mobile app for you to participate. You download it and you get a list of places and you can check in at those locations. So at this point, maybe you're thinking, I can only eat so many French fries or baked potatoes. Why a whole trail around potatoes? Well, you can get a lot more than just French fries. So I took a peek to see what was on this trail. And it looks like there's 18 stops on the trail, and they have some really interesting dishes. Now, the most interesting ones that I would definitely be trying is there's an Idaho potato ale at Beer Island Brewing. There's a cinnamon sugar donut, which is actually made with Idaho potatoes. That's at Guru Donuts. And there is a potato bacon pizza from Pie Hole. Now, this actually sounds like a very familiar pizza to me. We have a local food truck, Blues Pizza, and in the winter, they have a pierogi pizza with mashed potatoes and bacon. And I know it sounds bizarre, but being a PA girl, I like my pierogies, and it tastes like a pierogi. It's very good. So the potato bacon pizza at Pie Hole in Boise definitely sounds like something I would try. So now we're probably full of potatoes. Let's head southeast to Louisiana. And as we all know, Louisiana is well known for its food. So it's no surprise that the state has 8 culinary trails. And these trails are divided into different regions of the state. And those 8 are the Red River Riches, Prairie Home Cooking, Seafood Sensation, Delta Delights, Capital Cravings, Tammany Taste, Bayou Bounty, and Creole Crescent. Now, I love an alliteration, so I definitely endorse all these. And for each region, there's a list of restaurants to choose from to get the best that this region has to offer. But what I really thought was cool and unique was if you don't have a trip to Louisiana in your future, they actually have recipes and techniques so you can learn about Louisiana cooking at home, which I think is a lot of fun. And it says trail, but there's no set real trail or check-in. It's basically a directory of places within each region, which is cool. It gives you a good place. You can sort of plot from there. I like to see the more curated list for a trail, but it gives you a good place to start. Lets you know sort of the kinds of foods you should be looking for in the region. So again, another great thing. Check out at least one of the 8, From there, this is a good one. Did someone say bacon? Yes, they did. Our next trail is the Bacon Trail in Macon, Georgia. Yes, it is called the Macon Bacon Trail, and I give it an A+ on naming alone. So similar to Boise, there's a mobile app to find and track your progress visiting the 20 stops on the trail. And you earn badges at the stops along the way, and this makes you eligible for prizes. So why bacon? Well, Macon Bacon is the name of the Wood Bat Collegiate Summer Baseball Team, and the citizens of Macon voted for it. And now we have a food trail dedicated to one of the best foods on the planet, in my humble opinion. Of course, you will find the classic BLT, some bacon cheeseburgers on that trail. But 2 that I found super interesting was a pimento bacon fritter at Barefoot Tavern and a Jimmy Carter shake at the Rookery. So take your cholesterol medicine and hit the trail in Macon to get your bacon fix. Now, one of the other cool things is Macon offers other tours and trails that you can, check out and enjoy between eating your bacon dishes. So they have these self-guided tours on an app, and you can experience the Black Heritage Trail, the Macon Music Trail, and there's a film Macon tour as well. It seems really cool. I wish I lived closer to Macon. I had never had Macon on my to visit list, but now I do. I sort of want to go check all this out and maybe catch a baseball game while I'm there. So if you are near Macon, and you've checked any of these out, please let me know. So from Macon, we're heading over to North Carolina, and there we have an oyster trail. Now, this trail is a grassroots effort with a mission to provide experiences to help sustain and grow North Carolina oysters. Now, oysters are not my thing, but if it's yours, it sounds like North Carolina is the place to check out. They have locations on the trail all throughout the state with a concentration on the coast, of course, but it's similar to Louisiana, though. It's a big directory of restaurants. They sort of show you on a map, but it's not. You still have to sort of go through the directory and see. But it's cool because they have restaurants, oyster farms, festivals, and educational opportunities there. They even have a couple of kayak tours to oyster farms. I think that would be fun, even for those of us who don't necessarily partake in oysters. But, I'll do a good kayak tour and check it out, be outdoors. So now we're going to head north to New Jersey to what I would call the most unique food trail I found, and probably one of the best ones. This one is dedicated to Anthony Bourdain. The trail pays tribute to Bourdain's childhood growing up in Leonia, New Jersey, and summers spent at the Jersey Shore. And it spotlights 10 Jersey restaurants featured on Anthony Bourdain Parts Unknown. This is a great trail for foodies. It's a great trail for lovers of New Jersey, and especially the Jersey Shore, and of course, Anthony himself. And now, as someone who grew up vacationing at the Jersey Shore and also taking Julia there as a kid, it was so cool to see one of the restaurants we frequent on Long Beach Island on that list. Kugel's up near Barnegat Light is on that list. And the nice thing is the trail has a PDF version, so you can download it. You can check off locations as you travel around New Jersey. If a place was good enough for Anthony Bourdain, it's good enough for me. You know what I'm saying? There are so many great food trails, and I'm sure there's great ones near you. Do you need some tips for finding one? Well, usually you can find these food trails on, again, tourism board websites for the state and county. They're usually the ones that organize them, and you can find them there. If they have any, they will have a list of their trails. If you can't find one, or the ones you find aren't your vibe, hey, create your own. Pick something you want to try. Maybe it's chocolate shops. Maybe it's bakeries and you're looking for the best chocolate chip cookie. Make it your own. When I check out bakeries, if they have a chocolate chip cookie, I like to try that out. It sort of gives me a good point of comparison between bakeries. But again, pick a regional specialty of your interest and make your own trail. You can usually find food places, through a Google search or my best friend, Google Maps. I spend a lot of time with Google Maps these days. So I did save one last trail to discuss because it is one that I'll have easier access to try. And that is the Buffalo Wing Trail in Buffalo, New York. So John, Julia, and I have been discussing heading to Buffalo. Sometime we're up in New York to compare Anchor Bar, which is the original wing, and Duff's. And well, imagine my delight when I happened upon the Wing Trail. So this list includes the top 14 places for the best wings in and around Buffalo. Will we make it to all 14? Definitely not in one sitting, but I'll keep you posted when and this happens and how we do. But if wings aren't quite your thing, Buffalo has other trails. They have beef on weck, sandwiches, sponge candy, and a pizza trail. Now, sponge candy was new to me, and I'm going to be on the lookout for that next time we're in Rochester. There's so much good food in that area, the regional dishes. I think we'll have to have a discussion on regional dishes here in the future, both in New York and everywhere. I just think it's so cool and so interesting. So I'm sure we'll talk about that in the future. But of course, there are many trails based on adult beverages out there. I just wanted to focus on food and some of the lesser known ones today. Head out on those beer and wine trails. Just be careful, have a designated driver, take a tour, um, break it into several days, I guess. Just be careful out there. Obviously, I couldn't include all the food trails across the US in this episode, but I just wanted to give you an idea of what to try and then some insights on the variety out there. Like what were your favorites in this list? What would you want to try out? Let me know. I'm going to put links to the food trails that I mentioned in the show notes so you can check those out and start planning. But let me know on social media or join our Facebook group, Roaming Yeti Travel Flurry, and let me know. Let me know which ones I missed, which ones are your favorite. I hope this episode inspires you to get out and roam, even in your own backyard. Follow, download, and subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. Tell a friend, leave a review, and you can always follow me on Instagram or Facebook. Just search for The Roaming Yeti. And keep roaming.